ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
It's Thursday. Is it not?
I believe so. Is the camera slightly out of focus? It kind of looks slightly out of focus, but...
Maybe my face is out of focus with the universe. Like, the phase has shifted, causing the vortex to get off center with my eyes. And that's what's throwing it off. It's a very strong possibility.
That's a very interesting hypothesis.
It actually looks pretty normal to me.
Maybe it's my contacts. It's probably my
maybe your contacts are out of
alignment
with the Earth.
I was going to say the phases of the moon, but Earth too, yes.
You never know, man. You never know.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific commenter himself, Zealeus.
What's up? And if you want to see the actual prolific commenting in action,
you have to go back like 7 years.
That.
Or subscribe to our Discord channel.
Yes! That's what I was going with, you jackwagon.
Yes.
So Charlie did pop the Discord in here. Once again, I'll copy and paste it just to make sure we're very clear. Is come join the Discord and come chat with us. Nudge Puppy, she said like our permissions might be messed up. So if somebody's in there and they can't like chat and it's not allowing them to, please like send us a message like here on Twitch or message us somewhere other than Discord so we can know. We're Discord noobs. Like we're figuring this stuff out.
Yes.
So like if something's not working with the permissions, with the chatting, please tell me. We want to have the chat going on. Let the rage show on Discord.
Or the love. If you have love, we'll accept that as well on Discord.
We do love, some good times, some gaming times, some happy times.
Indubitably.
Yes, so, Charlie, how's your week been?
I played some video games. So I've been playing this game. It's called Observer.
Okay.
It's by Team Bloober.
Sure.
A company we're very familiar with. It's a cool premise, okay? It's kind of like a psychological horror cyberpunk feel to it.
Okay.
But my horror, my fear has nothing to do with the game.
What does it have to do with it, sir?
How long can I play without having either an epileptic seizure or a massive migraine?
Is there that many flashing lights?
Oh my God! It's like a constant thing, and like the world's constantly like shifting. And
it sounds like a recipe for motion sickness too.
Yeah. No, I do not get motion sickness unless it's like way over the top, and I have to sometimes. All right, Zealeus, I'm sorry. Was your part the wrong way on your hair? Okay, and I have to take breaks during the game because I can't.
That bad?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
It's bad. It's like it.
Now, does it help with the game, or does it just seem like it's there with? Not maybe serving the intended process? Is it over the top?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I haven't really like progressed the storyline too far, but I feel like this is a way to slow down the player.
Interesting.
You know how you got these free to plays where you have energy and you got to wait for the energy to re-up. This one's like, how much can you take before you get so sick that you have to take a break, but you're wondering what's around the next corner, so you will come back.
Now, do you think there's something to do with that as far as how hardcore of a gamer you are? What I mean this is, take my dad, for instance, right?
Uh-huh.
He cannot play like simulation racing games. Like it makes him nauseous.
Right.
And I wonder, is that more of a nature of him never having grown up playing these games at all? So for him, it's like this weird alien feeling versus people like us who are used to playing these video games or, obviously the generation come up, like, that's how they live is on this thing.
Yep.
So do we. I'm not blaming them.
Yep.
So we're used to that. So, like, our senses are kind of dulled to that in a way. Versus somebody from our older generation, like, this is a new sensation to them. I don't know if that affects a little bit, that feeling of nauseousness in some of these games.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. If you're not really a gamer, or if you don't have, you haven't...
Yeah.
Been raised on it like we have, where we've gone from 2D to 3D to like almost total immersion.
8D.
Then you won't even be able to start the game. I mean, you're as soon as it starts, you're gonna be like,
God.
oh my God.
So what you're saying is, when we get to Christmas, we're about to open up all the presents with all the kids on the big screen TV. I just throw up the game and see what happens.
Yeah.
What happened to all the parents? They just left.
Come on, it's supposed to be rated R or something, but I got... That's how it feels. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into it, shall we? The first topic is...
So, the big news... Actually, I'm going to blow this up a little so it's easier to see for our audience here.
If you're doing it via video.
Sorry.
Would you like me to do it? You got it right there. There it is. No.
Okay.
There you go.
So the reason I'm blowing this up, to make it a little bit easier for us to see, is... So this week... It had been... Doggone it.
Stop moving stuff!
I'm sorry. All right, so it had been rumored for a while now that Disney, the great big conglomerate
yep.
of all things media, was going to be merging, taking over, acquiring, whatever word you want to use, of 20th Century Fox.
Okay.
Well, this week, or actually today, they came out with a press release making it official. And the reason we're showing you this is some of the different things that are going to be happening now. So in the middle you have the red, which is the Marvel Studios as it is now, which is under the Disney umbrella, obviously. So the big thing there would be your Avengers. You know, you got Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, and that stuff. And you have some other stuff under there too. But what this gets us on the 20th Century Fox now, the two big things that are coming out of that are the Fantastic Four and also X-Men. And also now, inside of Marvel products, they can actually use the word mutant.
What?
Why no? They're mutants.
What was the word that they had to use?
Enhance?
No, well, something like that.
Because
gifted. Was it gifted?
No, it was something. They did use gifted, but they used something totally different in Shield. It was not gifted. Oh, that's gonna bother me now.
I know.
Yes, I know exactly.
I'll have to Google it.
Yes. So yes, like in Agents of Shield, like they're referring to him all the time as some down. So what's going to happen now is they're taking, and of course the other one that's recent is Deadpool. You know, because Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds, who shocked me in actually having a good performance. Thankfully, I'm very happy for that. So that happened. So now, of course, we have big questions of what's going to happen now. So I'm going to go ahead and get this back to normal size. Ha, grabbed the right thing that time.
Hooray!
So the big question, so my big question is, two big questions. One is, what is that going to do to the release cycle of these movies? Is Disney, so right now, obviously, Marvel, MCU, can release movies at the same time of anything from 20th Century Fox if they wanted to, because two totally different studios. Now that they're combined into one giant studio, is it going to slow down the release of superhero movies under this umbrella? Because Disney's made it clear that they don't just want to release, movie after movie after movie after movie. They want to kind of spread it out to what the people's appetite. The second thing is the CEO of Disney has come out in the past and made very clear that he does not want rated R movies under this umbrella. Not this today umbrella we have, but under the Disney umbrella. He does not want the rated R superhero comic book movies of that ilk. And of course now, recently, we had both Logan, and Deadpool, both which have done phenomenal as rated R movies. So the question, of course, going forward on what I'm thinking is, going forward, is Disney willing to still release these rated R movies? Because Disney, they're all about the kids. And it's kind of like, Avengers comes out, half of their marketing is the toys that can go by Target when you walk by. Well, it's much harder to market rated R Wolverine toys towards kids as it is your next, Captain America figurine. So Disney, they're being counters. They love to see those action figures. And what can we do to sell to the kids? And the parents now have to buy for them because they need it for Christmas and all this stuff. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, look at the media blitz that's happening with The Last Jedi right now. In all things Star Wars, it's always that blitz of not just what can you see on TV or on your big screen, but also what are you buying on the side, because that's obviously huge rewards and money. So what's going to happen with the rated R stuff that that 20th Century Fox has been doing a great job at recently, and now that game turns over to Disney is kind of what I'm interested in seeing. And the thing is people are like, whoa, we can do crazy crossovers. Honestly, I don't care about the crazy crossovers. If it doesn't actually add to the product, if they just start throwing in, let's just say, they're going to throw in a Wolverine and a Captain America in the same movie. Well, if it's a crappy movie, which we've seen plenty of, then who cares if they're together if it's still crappy? It's kind of for me, the whole crossover appeal is kind of I don't really care about that.
Gifted. It is gifted.
It is that what it is? Okay. So I don't really care about the whole crossover appeal. For me, it's not like it doesn't move the envelope for me on this. And it just creates more, it's not quite a monopoly, but it just still creates more of a centralization of media resources into one giant company. So any thoughts about the merger, Charlie?
So in order to keep the R movies, which have been exceedingly excellent, I think that what you're going to see is you're going to see a new studio that's going to technically stand by itself but still be owned by Disney.
Sure.
So it's going to be able to keep this distance so you can keep those R-rated movies, and perhaps you can see. Now the tricky thing is if you want to do crossovers, because there's going to be movies like Logan, like Deadpool.
Yeah.
Do you want those characters to cross over into like the PG-13 realm?
Well, here's a question.
Because then you might be misleading towards, those who've only watched the PG-13, the young kids, and you see Deadpool, which is a PG-13 version, then a new Deadpool movie comes out, and they're like, Mommy, why can't I watch it? It was in the Avengers movie.
Well, and that was one of the worries with Logan was, Wolverine, especially as Hugh Jackman. I mean, he's very well known as Wolverine.
Yep.
Being in all the X-Men movies, which were, I'm guessing, PG-13 would be my assumption.
Yes, they were.
And so he's in all those, and that was, some people, that was a concern when Logan came out. Now, to be fair, I think in Logan and Deadpool's, both their defenses, they both made very clear these are not kids' movies. Like, they were very these are rated R. I mean, Ryan Reynolds was doing all those PSAs with, Deadpool be like, parents, don't bring your kids to this movie. This is not for kids.
One of the PSAs was about how to masturbate correctly, okay? So that should be a red flag.
Wait.
That is not for
Are
children.
you sure it's not for teenagers? I'm just saying.
I didn't say
I'm just saying.
No, I'm just saying.
Rated R,
No,
PG-13, rated R, PG-13. But yeah, right now they've been doing a very good job. And you're right. I think I could definitely see that happening. Where, have kind of like the separate, maybe they keep it under 20th century umbrella. Maybe they keep that, name alive for some of the more edgier type of movies. The other kind of question that people asked was, so, with the MCU, as it was before this acquisition.
For those who don't know what MCU means.
Sorry, Marvel Cinematic Universe.
There you go.
So with the characters in the red bubble, some of the bigger players, they'd already they hadn't run their course, but they already had movies about them, right?
Yes, they're firmly entrenched in the universe lore.
Thank you. And so two things is one, they had Ant-Man, and then they had Guardians of the Galaxy. Because they'd already pulled on so much material, so it's like, okay, what else can we do from this universe? I know, let's try this out. Whereas now, when you have all this extra stuff to pull from besides just the MCU and the red bubble, is the studio going to be willing to take that chance to, because Guardians of the Galaxy, when it was first, before it came out, that was a huge unknown. They were taking a legit chance on that. Was this going to succeed? And now that they have all these other established franchises, like a X-Men, and I don't even want to count Fantastic Four, but it's there.
No, it isn't. It's called Incredibles, and Disney's owned the rights forever. Actually, Disney and Pixar. Whatever the FF, whatever that is, that's not Fantastic Four. It's just the Incredibles. You're being slightly misguided. It's actually kind of, a misdirection. But really, the Incredibles is Fantastic Four.
I did not know that.
You should know.
So with all these other superheroes to draw from, is there going to be space for taking a chance on these other less known guys? Where they could do some fun and interesting things. I don't know. There's just questions to see. Now,
look.
Sorry.
Incredibles, okay?
I don't know.
A girl, you have a girl that does invisibility and could do invisible shields. Hello, Invisible Woman.
Okay.
You have someone who can literally bash and punch and is nearly indestructible. Hello, Mr. Incredible and the Thing. You have someone who is fast as light. Yes, he does not catch fire, but he can literally move as fast and probably break the sound barrier, which would cause some fire. Hello, Human Torch and Dash. And then finally, you have a gentleman who can basically bend in every single direction in Mr. Fantastic, as well as Elastigirl.
There you go.
Ta-da! I just blew your mind.
Now, the one benefit that people are actually optimistic about that could make this interesting is the enemies. Because part of what was the 20th Century Fox bubble over there, some of, the world-eating bad guys. I don't remember the guy who actually eats worlds, whatever his dude's name is.
Okay, you mean Apocalypse?
No.
No.
If you said I'd know it. But like
the guy who Silver Surfer's controlled by
But there's some like really cool bad guys and enemies
Mm-hmm.
from the 20th Century Fox bubble that they can now pull over into, overarching, Avengers, MCU, whatever all that is, to maybe, after Thanos, who knows? Maybe
there is no after Thanos.
Maybe Thanos.
He can't die.
Maybe he actually defeats the Avengers. I don't know.
The rumor
you never
is.
actually know.
Look. Potential spoiler. I don't know if it's actual spoiler because I don't know. I have not seen
If the
Infinity
movie,
War.
So we talked about this last week. I don't think the movie's come out. It's just a rumor. It's not a spoiler.
Okay, fine. The
Ooh,
rumor
I have a
has
question
it.
about that too.
Can I say the rumor first?
No. Yeah. Sorry. Yes, but I had to follow up on the spoiler question from last week.
Okay. The rumor has it that at least one, maybe two of the superheroes is going to die. Now, my money is. I can already tell you it's going to be Captain America is gone.
Yes.
And Bucky's going to replace him.
Yep.
Now, the other one, however, that one gets a little bit.
My guess, Iron Man.
Who takes over Iron Man?
I think it's just run its course.
How about Thor?
No.
No, there's Thor.
Thor's kind of almost like the comedic relief in it.
How about if the female Thor takes over?
Okay, that I can see. You know what I still want to see?
What?
Is a standalone, oh my gosh.
Black Widow?
Black Widow, thank you. I mean, we've seen it works.
Someone
It's
went
been
ahead
rumored forever.
and no, I know, but someone went ahead and basically made the Black Widow movie without calling the Black Widow. It's called, was it like Red Sparrow or something? I mean, it's literally verbatim exactly the Black Widow without being the Black Widow.
But it's Scarlett Johansson in it, right?
No,
Because
it's
Scarlett Johansson's in one coming up too.
right, but it's not Scarlett Johansson. It's Jennifer Lawrence, I think.
Oh, is that his? Okay.
I think it is.
One of
Anyways.
those. Now you also had, which is really entertaining, if anybody saw it, was Atomic Blonde, which could be Black Widow also.
No, Atomic Blonde is the female version of James Bond.
It really was, yes, but it was really entertaining.
See, the thing is, with the backlash that the all-female Ghostbusters got, they literally, like, we're going to make a movie that's literally a gender bender. We're going to flip the rules. However, we're not going to touch the previous property. What we're going to put, we're going to put this new character in the same universe. It's going to be the exact same person, except it's going to be the opposite sex. Atomic Blonde, it's James Bond.
Yep.
This Red Sparrow, well, actually, Red Sparrow is going to be the same. But I'm trying to think, what's another one that they basically flippy-flopped? I can't think off the top of my head.
See, I liked the Ghostbusters with the all-female cast.
I did too.
And let's be fair. Any criticism you had that you could have had of Ghostbusters would have been relevant. It was an all-female or all-male cast. I mean, it wouldn't matter either way because there were flaws in the movie, but that would have happened regardless of the gender of the lead. So whatever.
I do have to say that I felt that this would have been true with an all-male cast, is that it felt like certain characters were trying too hard. But anyways, back on to, you had a question about
Okay,
spoilers.
so I had a follow-up from last week I was thinking about, right?
Okay, yep.
And I kept on going back to the whole Harry Potter question.
Okay.
Spoilers. So here's my question, because I kind of joked with you, have you started reading Harry Potter to your kid, right? So my question is this. Obviously, the big spoilers at the biggest one, almost in book history, not really book history, but in terms of pop culture, is what happened with Dumbledore, right? Is what happens in the end. But here's the
Spoiler!
thing. Here's the thing, though.
Yep.
Once Brody starts reading the books, doesn't it then become a spoiler alert?
I think we talked about this with the context of doing. I mean, this was basically the base of the original question: is when you do a remaster or a remake of something, does spoiler alert rules get reenacted?
But it's not a remake. He's just reading the original book series.
True. However, technically, by the time he reads it, it will be a new version of. It's going to be the same book, but it's going to be like an updated version. It's probably going to be all electronic and stuff like that. So technically, it is.
I don't consider that.
I mean, you can. I mean, semantics. You could.
That's splitting hairs.
Exactly, but at the same time,
Okay, if I give up my physical freaking copies, what about in that case?
I think it then becomes it's just like if there's like an old school movie you've never watched, you know, and you finally get a chance to watch it. I personally would try to avoid spoiler alerts because, in my mind, I've never had the chance to interact with this thing.
Okay.
But you're right. Technically, I mean, I could ruin it as soon as he started reading it if I wanted to, if I'm an asshole.
But in general, though, like that age group has probably never actually read Harry Potter, right?
Right.
So, you know, kind of thinking back, maybe age that you also talked about happened in a certain work of fiction affects the spoiler alert status bar. So, you know, telling probably, you know, anybody at the age of, I'm throwing out a random number here, under the age of 15, telling them what happens in Harry Potter, book 6, maybe at that point that's a spoiler alert because chances are they won't have had that chance to get up or opportunity to get up that far in the Harry Potter series. So maybe that kind of affects the spoiler alert level too, is the age level for those.
I could see that. I mean, I could see that. I mean, it would be a self-imposed spoiler to anyone who's going to be around that person.
Sure.
But yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the next.
Do we have to?
Yes.
Okay, so for those who don't know,
it passed.
It passed. It was repelled. So, as Charlie's been ranting for the last couple of weeks, rightfully so,
and lost some friends in the process,
today there was a vote to repeal the net neutrality rules that were enacted by the FCC
during the Obama
administration, which, by the way, Republican-led FCCs also promoted the tenets of the net neutrality. They were in favor. It was never solidified as it was with the Obama administration, but the Republican-led FCC chairs, they were also in favor of it too. The idea behind it, they were in favor of. So it's not just like this whole new thing. So moving to today, it was repelled. So it's official now.
Repealed, by the way, not repelled.
I keep on saying repelled, don't I?
Yeah, that's
basically
trying to bounce down the wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was repealed. This was bounced off a wall, kind of.
Well, yeah, whatever.
The wall of hatred.
Of intellect into ignorance.
Touche. So it was repealed. And speaking of ignorance, because every freaking thing that comes out of the chair's mouth is literally ignorance.
It's not his mouth, it's his ass.
It really is his ass. Because everything he says is factually untrue. It just is.
Inaccurate. Factually inaccurate. Let's not say untrue, because somewhere there has to be like a shred of truth. Like he does say his name, and technically that is truth. So we'll just say inaccurate.
Okay, fair enough. So it was repealed.
How funny would it be if he has been mispronouncing his name the entire time?
Who knows?
That'd be fun. I mean,
it depends. How much?
I'm trying to see a silver lining.
How much
here.
did Verizon pay him to say his name? That's the real question.
Ooh.
Well, of course,
he's going to get he's going to get a hefty bonus for this.
Well, of course, all three of the Republican chairs were all at one time had worked for the ISPs in some form or fashion. Surprise, surprise. So what this basically means now is that your ISPs have full capability to throttle, block websites, basically do whatever they want to your website traffic.
Without any consequence, as long as they tell you they're doing so.
Correct. Which means, as you've already seen with some of the ISPs, is they're basically, so one time when net neutrality passes, they made pledges. And of course, part of the reason, this is kind of the thinking ahead chess game, is they wanted to put these pledges up because at the time, net neutrality was passed, right? So if they put the pledges up, then they look like they're on board. And then, of course, now they can play the card of, what do we need net neutrality for, bros? We already made this pledge. Right on, brother. And of course, now that it has been repealed, and as we already saw happening over the past couple of weeks, as they knew this was happening, guess what they're already doing?
They're revoking parts of it.
Absolutely.
Until it's all gone.
So, of course, as we're going to see coming over the next weeks and months, is slowly but surely, the rest of their pledges towards net neutrality are going to go by the wayside, and any remnants that do stay up are going to have so many gotchas and loopholes that it's going to be like unlimited data. Where they're going to say, we support so-and-so, except under circumstance XYZ, which basically means anything with damn well please, is what's going to end up happening.
You know what? You know one of the main companies that's going to get spanked pretty damn hard in the coming weeks, months, years, whatever? Google. Google's had a stranglehold on being that center of information. It's also the home of YouTube. Google has wielded a lot of power.
Yep.
And now Yahoo, Lycos,
Oh gosh.
Bing can now easily overtake Google simply because all they got to do is grease the right palms for the ISPs, and the ISPs really don't like Google to begin with, so it's not going to be a lot hard.
Of course, one of the questions that people ask is like, well, what's the difference between, Google and YouTube? They already censor stuff, so how is this any different than the ISPs?
Well, the ISPs would see, Google and YouTube censor certain things that go against their code of conduct or ethics, or that is copyright infringement. ISP, they can basically censor whatever the hell they damn well please without a reason. All they really have to do is they just simply state we are decreasing the ability to go to Google and any Google entities, and for a hefty sum of $50 a month, you will be able to continue to use YouTube and Google.
Because we can.
Exactly. And here's the biggest problem. And coming from a world that once upon a time I was in the telecommunications world, I know that I've said this very, very often, but here is the real dirty, dirty, dark secret. Because net neutrality, okay, first of all, just to give you a little bitty shimmer of hope, okay, the net neutrality thing, it's, bye-bye. But that's on the federal government level, okay? States can now try to enact a
No.
Yeah.
No, part of this was states cannot do net neutrality.
States are going to try, though. They've already got a bunch of court cases going.
Correct. So what it is, the New York AG, he's already pissed off at the chair for other stuff because basically, so when you had the whole comments part, it's pretty well known fact that the FCC was basically hiding comments in favor of net neutrality and doing all this other shady stuff.
Yep.
So part of what also happened with the getting rid of net neutrality is they did it in such a way that bars states from passing their own local net neutrality laws.
As well as bar future iterations of the FCC to retract what's being done.
So what you're seeing now is you're seeing states such as New York, who's going to start suing the FCC to be like WTF mates. Ultimately, my guess is this is going to come down to Congress at some point.
Supreme Court. Because the problem is what they're going to go to battle with is the fact that not all of the facts, grievances, and information were actually available to all parties before this happened. Now, this isn't really that big of a surprise, knowing what was going on with the tax bill.
Oh, God.
But welcome to 2017.
Well, of course. Also with one of the biggest reasons that the FCC say to get rid of net neutrality was because it hurts network infrastructure expansion. And yet...
No.
No.
You know what?
That's what they said.
I know, but you know what hurts network infrastructure, what do you call it? What did you say?
Expansion.
Is the fact that all ISPs have their set location and they can't expand their infrastructure because if there's an existing footprint in their way, they can't do it unless they buy that company that has that footprint. That's the only way you expand the infrastructure.
Well, and you look at, so if you actually look at not the FCC,
FTC.
Thank you, the FTC filings that they are required to make as they're publicly held companies, guess what they all say about their expansion and what affected their ability to expand? Guess what?
Net neutrality.
Yes. It did not actually, across the board, they all said net neutrality did not affect their ability to expand. And the other reason he threw out, there were smaller rural ISPs, and this would severely hamper their ability because of the additional cost. And yet, the ones he cited, if you actually look at their rollouts, guess what happened to the rollouts to homes over the last year? They expanded. Imagine that.
All right, so going back to once upon a time, I was in the telecommunications industry. So with the repeal of net neutrality, which allows the ISPs to dictate exactly what websites you can go to, which websites are actually going to be affected in a very negative way, which ones are going to be affected in a positive way, blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing, though. Because of the regulated way that ISP, or cable companies, all that stuff, the way that their territory is situated, means that you don't have another option, right? So they can basically enact any rule they want to, and if you want to continue to have internet, you got to utilize this. Now, I know a lot of people probably were, I don't know, given these whispers of, well, it'll just be like cell phones. I just have to choose my favorite provider. No, because this isn't this. If you're in Georgia, chances are you're Comcast or Charter. Both are going to you up the butthole. And there's no option. It's not like you could jump from Verizon to go to AT&T. I don't know why we'd do that, but okay, Verizon to T-Mobile. You don't have that choice. The consumers are now effed because, well, they were going to be effed anyways, but now they're super duper effed because they don't have an alternative. And that to me is the scariest thing, because now the ISP truly holds you by the metaphorical cojones and can basically ransom certain sites to the point of bankruptcy. And oh, by the way, Google is definitely one of those companies that's going to feel a lot of hate and a lot of pain.
And Netflix.
Oh yeah. But remember, Google has been rolling out YouTube TV.
Oh yeah.
And that's going to go.
The ISPs don't like that.
No. So I'll be very interested to see what happens to Amazon Prime. PlayStation View's probably, well, PlayStation View might be protected because it's mainly supposed to be for the console. So they may be able to take away like the stream to any device, but as long as you still have a PlayStation, you might be able to get away with it. However, you're probably going to hit data caps because they can enact it. They'll tell you, it was unlimited, but understand that under guideline XYZ QRS, once you've hit 300 megabytes, we throttle your internet by 75% unless you pay an additional $60 per day.
Ooh, yeah, $6 a day. Now you're talking. Now that's how I get my nice cognac.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So, now, tomorrow, everything's not going to change. This is going to be, they're going to be they're going to be kind of sneaky. They're going to roll out certain things over time, and you're going to notice that shit's going to change. It's not going to change overnight. However, I'm sure that some ISPs probably have the entire groundwork laid out to basically turn it on tomorrow. But this is a very, very dark day.
It is, I agree. And, people are like, well, I just don't want my government and my ISPs, man. Well, guess what? They're already there. And this is one of the very few.
And actually now technically the government's no longer in the ISP because the ISP is now king of their footprint. So yeah, congratulations. You got the government out of your ISP so they can no longer regulate and make sure that no one's getting dicked over for any of your free access to the internet.
But I don't want my heavy-handed, I don't want the government controlling my internet, bro.
Well, you don't have to worry about that because it'll be the internet service providers that will be able to tell you what you can and cannot do, what you can and cannot see. And we go closer and closer to, I believe the word is dictatorship?
The corporate dictatorship.
Oh, no. Totalitarianism. Whatever.
Dystopia.
Sure. Anarchy. No, it's not anarchy. But anarchy is going to rise.
I think it was like in Civ 3 or 4, I can't remember which one it is. There's actually a government type they could get later in the game where it was basically the corporations were the government.
In that like...
there was like a name for it. I can't remember what it's called.
I know, but there's like a bunch of like movies that base off that where...
Oh, yeah. Like all the futuristic movies,
the Neo Tokyo stuff.
Yeah, it's all corporations like running everything. That's like a very, very futuristic.
I need to Google this because
So yes, when people are like, yes, I don't want my government, my internet. This is great. well, congratulations. Like, this is one place where, like, it's, yes, the government's saying that corporations can't be doing something, but guess what? They're not telling us what we can and can't do. The idea is allowing us to do what we want to, is the whole point.
To dictate what you personally want to and not to do on the internet, and that's been taken away. It's called corporatocracy. No. Corporate and ocracy formed a form of government is a recent term used to refer to an economic and political system controlled by corporations or corporate interests, which technically I think we're there. Because, let's be honest, the vast majority of legislation and decisions are made by individuals who are getting their pockets lined by corporations that want to push their agenda.
Yep.
Be it clean coal, more...
My coal's going to be clean now? This is great!
No.
No? That was sarcasm in case anybody wasn't obvious.
Be able to drill for more oil, because
it's perfectly safe and doesn't affect anything.
Decrease the amount of federal reserve land by, I believe the last count is 400 million acres, I believe. Like the national parks have shrunk like 400 million acres
Those
now.
lands are just for commies, bro.
We don't care about the animals. We don't care about the environment. It's all fake.
It's fake environment.
It's all fake.
Hashtag fake everything.
Fake everything. Fake information, fake president, fake numerology. Well, I don't even know where I'm going with that one. Fake alcohol.
What about fake? I think we're going like to the Illuminati here.
Maybe this is time for the Illuminati. Or perhaps the secret government's been run out of the Vatican for years to actually come to light.
It's time for the Knights Templar to come back and rise as one.
They never left, man.
Ooh. Assassin's Creed is on something.
But speaking of like religious stuff, I don't know if we went way off the rails now. We're going political here, but
it's going off.
It's great. There was a great story. First of all, anybody from the state of Alabama, thank you for actually having a soul, morals, and not deciding to blindly follow your party into the realm of death and ambiguity.
Well, I got dark quickly.
But the funny thing was, the campaign manager for the individual who lost, Roy Moore, went on and was interviewed by a gentleman by the name of Jake Tapper.
Okay.
And the guy basically said, well, you know, you can't truly hold office in America if you're not willing to swear on the Bible, because that's what you have to do. No, you don't. You could swear on whatever you want. You could swear on the Quran if you wanted to. It's basically just your solemn pledge. You could swear on the Constitution of Independence, the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence.
And it should be the Constitution.
Right.
Like,
absolutely. You should take religion completely out of it.
It really should just be the Constitution. I think it's something we can all reasonably agree on, even when we interpret it differently, which is very common. Like, just make it the Constitution. It's pretty hard to find.
No, but the funny thing was when Jake Tapper relayed that information to the guy was like, bah. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, did you not know that? And he's like, bah. And he goes, okay, well, thank you for talking. He goes, well, you know, I think it's just better to swear in on the Bible. Okay, great.
Good start.
All right, anyways, do we have another one back to back for the FCC?
No, I just didn't want to do the other one because I thought it would delete something.
Okay, all right.
Wait, nope, more sad face.
Look, hold on. Before we go to the next one, do you still have something to drink in your thing? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to toast in commiseration to all those amazing individuals out there whose life and livelihood thoroughly depend on your internet presence. And I hope that this change doesn't absolutely screw you up the kazoo. I hope that you can continue to survive and thrive in this crazy wasteland that will become known as the internet. Cheers.
I don't know if cheers is the word I'd use, but...
All right.
And here's the thing. We lost this battle, but the fight's not over.
Now, we've lost a shit ton of battles. The only battle we seem to have won in recent history was Roy Moore not getting elected.
Can we just bring back Tom Wheeler?
Okay. Random side note. I know we've gone But you know how all these like allegations are coming out now with all these like high-powered people? My question to you, and this is almost 100% theoretical because the dude is dead. But if these allegations were coming out during the time of Strom Thurmond, how fast do you think his ass would be out of office?
Well, he was a known racist while he was still in office.
Racist, a
not
bigot,
long ago.
and a sexist.
No, he still would have been in office because people didn't care.
That's true. I.e. the president. All right, let's move on to, let's actually talk about some video games. How about that?
So this is more, woo, life is great. So there's this game that piqued my interest. I was like, ooh, this sounds interesting. It's called Knights of Pen and Pencil 2. And the idea is it's basically a single-player iOS. It's also on Steam.
Yep.
It's like you're playing a tabletop game. So, you have a party, you have items, you go questing, all those great and exciting stuff. I'm like, this sounds cool. So I start reading reviews because I always read the reviews of the games. So normally when we've talked about freemium games in the past, it's been like, it came out with that business model the first time around. It's like, okay, free to play, whatever, right?
Yep.
Well, in this case, this game turned the tables. It used to be available for $5 on iOS. When you pay $5, you got everything. It was a normal game. You got some DLCs. You could buy the DLCs, but they're just expansions. Life goes on. But as far as, the questing and items and all that stuff goes, it was what you would expect in a progression of a video game, right? It's normal. There's some grinding, but it's nothing too crazy, right? So what the developers recently did is they changed it to a freemium model. So what happened is two things. One is these players who originally paid the $5 for everything in the game, now they're on the same exact freemium model. So it kind of changed what they purchased. They got some gold coins and other stuff out of it, yippee, but they're still on the same platform as everybody else with the freemium model. So they're feeling the shaft.
This is only for iOS, by the way. The Steam one's still $7.99.
Okay. So yes, that people did mention that the Steam version is still the good paid version.
Because it's going to actually give you everything and not try to dick you over.
Yes, and probably what's happened now is that they've changed it to the freemium version. Is it also consequently changes many aspects of the game. So previously, you could just play as normal, you could get items. Now they're locked behind that grind paywall. Because if you could get those items as normal beforehand, and just play as normal, get items, get enough gold to buy items, life is good, right? Now, both those people who paid the $5 and new players are affected because now, gold, gold you get has gone down, the gold costs have gone up to purchase anything, and you have to do a lot more grinding. So basically it's adversely affected everybody's enjoyment of the game. But to me, this is unique. We talked about other freemium models that we were particularly enjoyed. This is unique because they've taken a game that was once pay, the pay once to play.
Yep.
And it's the same version of the game. Now it's freemium. So you can't even have that regular old paid version anymore.
It's kind of weird because it's like, depending on the platform, you're either getting supremely dicked over or you're getting the actual full experience for a one-time fee. Now I don't know, so you'll have to tell me, but after you pay that $5 or whatever, is there the need to continue?
You can't anymore.
Huh?
You can't anymore. It's like free to play now.
No, what I'm saying is once you're in there and you pay the $5 to allow you to actually do shit in there, is there now the need to continue to put more money into it afterwards?
That $5 isn't there anymore.
Okay.
I don't know what the actual changeover was, so let's just say November 1st, it still costs $5 to play it all. Now November 2nd, you don't have to pay anything to play it.
Right, and what I'm saying is to actually get the experience that you would hope to get, you're probably going to have to, once you start playing the game.
You have to pay money now.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
But is it still, once you get to that point, are you going to need to continuously put more money into it instead of that one-time fee?
Yes.
That's
correct.
absolute crap.
That's exactly what it is.
But all right, but let's take this a little bit because I've run into this issue with Facebook games. Facebook games are free to play. However, there's definitely in-game transactions that allow you to play further. Now, here's my question. Here's an interesting scenario that I would like to put before you. Let's say that you're playing one of those games. It's a puzzle game where you've got all these different levels that you have to complete. The further you go into the game, you like to see that progression of, oh, look, I got 5 stars on this one and
Sure.
5 stars on that one. But let's say that at certain intervals, there's these like locked gates. Okay. The locked gates, in order to unlock them, you have to have 3 friends help you out. Or you pay a premium, utilizing the premium currency, you can unlock it without having those 3 friends. However, the amount of currency needed is going to be greater than what you currently have in the game, which means that you have to make a real world purchase in order to continue to play this game. However, so it would make sense if it's Facebook. But let's say that you did not connect your Facebook profile to this game. So on your iOS device, you're not connected with Facebook. So there's no way for you to be able to ask any friends because you're not connected to Facebook via your phone.
Here's the problem with that.
Yes.
Let's go back to the Knights of Pen and Pencil.
Yes.
The idea is I pay $5, right? I know I'm getting the game. I got everything. Life is good. The problem in your scenario, which we see a lot, is, let's just say the amount of, because most of the time to do that, you're going to pay $5. That's just a lot of times I see that kind of paid content because you have to buy jewels, and the jewel packs are like $5 for 490 gems.
I'll look up the exact currency.
It's very common, right?
Yep.
So in order to unlock that is X amount of money. Here's the problem. Is regular DLC. Hell, let's even take a game like Destiny 2. $60 game, but the thing is, I can predict that my DLCs are going to come out every 3 months.
$2.
How much?
$2.
Okay, $2. But I can predict that every 3 months I have a $20 DLC. It's very predictable, no big deal. Or maybe it is a big deal, I don't know. But
Well, the thing is,
I know.
Well, yes, and also you don't have to have that DLC
To play.
to continue to play the game.
Whereas, that's the problem. That's one of the things I hate about the gated content in freemium games. I don't know. I know once I do it the first time, it's going to be an ongoing expense. It's a recurring fee and very easily could ramp up very quickly. It's not like it's just a linear. It's more usually logarithmic where it like skyrockets. And that's what really drives me nuts about these freemium models. Is I can't predict how much I'm going to be paying out. Even MMOs. I like playing for Final Fantasy 14, $13 a month, $14 a month because I knew I paid that. By golly, I was getting everything.
Right.
Whereas all these freemium games, okay, maybe I pay a few bucks here, but I know I pay a few bucks here. Guess what's going to end up happening? More money here, more money here, more money here. And that's what drives me a little bit nuts. Like some games I don't mind. Like I used to play. I reset my iPhone, so I lost the game. But it's one of those shoot 'em up games. When I purchased enough gems, it was so I could buy a new ship. Like I didn't need that ship to go on. I just thought it was.
Does it have any distinct advantages over the other one?
I don't know if I'd say advantage necessarily, but definitely had different type of projectiles.
It's a choice. It's kind of like buying skins for your thing, or opening up an additional character.
Yeah. That's really what it was. In that case, I was fine with it. Like, it's my choice, whatever. Like, I could use my old ship to go on just fine, but it's fun to have a little variety. In that case, I had no problem with it because I knew what I was getting into. And I knew if I didn't want to, I didn't have to purchase additional ships. It was just for fun. Whereas, if I have to do it to unlock the stages, because that's really DLC at that point, and that's why I kind of bring up the DLC analogy. Even like, Mass Effect 3 had like 8 billion DLCs, but I knew I could at least be like, okay, this is 5, 10, okay, I know what I'm paying. Okay. In a online mobile game, it's not going to end. It's just these little things you have to unlock are going to continue to come up.
Now, one of the solutions that I have seen with games where it requires you to have friends to unlock the next quest or the next area or whatever is that if you do not have enough special currency or you don't have the friends, there is a time lock. That after a certain amount of times, usually at least 24 hours upon reaching that gate, it will unlock. So it slows you down.
Sure.
And if you want to speed it up, then of course you could pay the stuff, or you could try to rope your friends into it. However, this game does not have a time lock. It's simply get 3 friends or pay us money.
The time lock's not a terrible compromise.
It's not.
I can live with the time lock. I can live with.
It's still a pain in the ass, but you're being penalized because the only penalization is that, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Yeah. However, you're still let's be honest. The vast majority of games on this are crapper games, okay? Not that they're shitty, but you're probably going to be taking a shit while you play this game. So you have to wait until, I don't know, your usual scheduled shit the next day to play. Yeah, that's probably not going to hurt your feelings.
One thing, I don't know about you, but when it comes to me on these games, I have a very low threshold when it comes to deleting that game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a lot invested in these games on my phone. And so kind of that first, not difficult barrier, but barrier where it's like it's an obvious money grab, I'm liable to just say, delete. And there are games where I've definitely paid money because, again, it was my choice.
Right.
I could buy that shit because it was fun. And I've enjoyed the 60 levels I already beat just fine. Yeah, in that case, I've already put in, 10 hours into this game. Yeah, I'm going to give you a few bucks, no problem. But, like, the first hour, you're already putting in a block in front of me. Sorry, I'm deleting you.
Yeah.
And that's just, but it's the iPhone. I have a low threshold on these games in terms of what I'm willing to deal with. I think maybe it's part of generational. Because we're used to playing these games, when we grew up on the consoles, where by God, you paid once and you got the entire damn game. But we also have an entire generation coming up playing the mobile games, where it's a different expectation. They don't have that same expectation, I think, as us.
Well, let's also, because of the digital distribution thing, if there's a game out there that you're like, oh, it seems like a cool concept, but it basically smashed you in the face really, really quickly, it's like you need to pay money. Chances are you can delete that off your phone and you can find something that's very, very similar that might be exactly what you were looking for, and that's not going to absolutely smack you in the face within the first 10 minutes going, by the way, I know it says free, but if you really want to play the game, $25.99 a month.
I mean, how many Hero Quest games are there?
Oh, dear God.
I mean, that's like every game.
How about
is
clicker games?
Yeah, clicker games, like the Hero Quest with 5 heroes and the gacha games. Well, gacha games are a lot bigger in Japan, too. A lot of those, but
the match 3 games?
Yeah,
Dear
like,
Jesus.
There's like a lot. Yeah,
Would you like the sea-themed one? Would you like the castle-themed one? Would you like the Eskimo-themed one? Would you like the penguin-themed one? Would you like the animal-themed one? Just put a theme in there. Superhero-themed one, it's there.
Same game, just skins, basically. Yeah.
And maybe some well, ours has bombs that do this.
I think it was like Summoner Rift was one of the originals.
I think so.
Of like the hero type games. I remember the first time on the iPhone, I was like, RPG on the iPhone. I was like, dude, there's an RPG on the iPhone. This is awesome. After playing it for like a half hour, I'm like,
dude, this is not awesome.
I got ripped off. Wait, where's the FCC? Because this is false advertising, damn it.
No, it's the FTC.
Sorry, you're right.
Oh, is it FTC?
No. So that.
FAA? No, I'm just kidding. Is it flying?
The FBA, the
FBI, GBI,
the NBA?
CIA, NBA.
Let's get David Stern on this.
Dave Stern's no longer. It's Silver.
Exactly. He's retired, so he could take over.
Goodell could do it, right? No.
He finds everyone. It's fine.
The commish of the NHL. He definitely knows what he's doing.
Oh, screw Gary Bettman. He gets booed by. Oh God.
I know he can't go into arena without getting booed.
It's pretty. To be fair, he should.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, he's a dick. All right. Let's let's do some shout outs here. Let's go one more down.
Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen,
good stuff right here.
May 24th through the 27th, 2018, at the Georgia World Congress Center, MomoCon! Will once again be taking place. We, of course, I have already applied for my press credentials, which will probably have me floating around the indie developer place almost the entire time. Alter Confusion will have another table. I'm not exactly sure what. Not concoction, iteration, no. What Alter Confusion's table is actually going to mean, but it's going to be there. And then, of course, we've already submitted 2 panels, which I cannot remember off the top of my head. I know one of them is video games tonight, which I'm trying to stress that it should be a Thursday night panel.
The rebirth of the video game industry as we know it.
But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's an amazing convention. It's momocon.com to get all the information. There are a ton of voice actors coming.
Oh God,
talented individuals.
Mercy's going to be there.
Yes, Mercy is definitely going to be there, as well as a ton of people that you definitely want to check out. So definitely go over to momocon.com.
There were a ton of Overwatch OVAs there last year.
Oh, of course, yeah. And there's going to continue to be there. So definitely check it out. We'll, of course, be there. And then, of course, ladies and gentlemen, EndoCon!
EndoCon!
Which is happening 2 months before MomoCon, March 9th through the 11th, 2018, at the Marriott Peachtree Corners. EndoCon, which is a gaming convention, but an analog gaming convention, where the main focus of this convention, which is a gaming convention, is going to be on community and board games, card games, pencil and paper RPGs.
Wait. You mean I don't actually look at a screen?
I'm sure you could look at a screen, but that's not where you're going to be playing.
Oh wait, a game where
Yes.
I don't look at a screen? What madness is this?
You mean you actually have to interact with real live human beings right in front of you?
Are there microtransactions in these games?
Yes, if you want to buy the expansion.
Ooh.
But then again, that's an expansion. That's a DLC. That's not a microtransaction. It's like you could pay to get an extra turn. You're just paying to allow for a larger game to take place.
Well, of course, we all remember the original pay-to-win game,
Which was?
Magic the Gathering.
Dear God, yes. Oh, yes.
That is such. So, my one of my nephews, for Christmas, his aunt emailed me well, you could get him Magic the Gathering cards. And I was like, morally, I don't think I could do that.
It's gambling. It really is gambling.
Yes, it's legalized gambling with cards for kids.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, EndoCon is definitely a great convention, and one of the reasons I love it is because you go there and there's a lot of indie game developers there.
Mm-hmm.
So you could be sitting down and playing a board game with the actual developer of this game. The feedback that you give to him while you're playing it after the game could very well have an impact on the game.
Mm-hmm.
They can be one of the very first players of this game. But if you're also into the popular games, the games by Days of Wonder and all the other big developers, they also have, walls full of board games that, people who have way too many board games bring in to share with the people. And that's the thing. It's kind of amazing to me of the trust that these gamers have. Because if you think about, I'm just going to say $30 to $50 per ticket in these board games, right? So you figure some of these people easily have thousands of dollars worth of board games, easily. And so they bring in their games to share at EndoCon for the weekend. And there's not really, there's a checkout process, but it's not like you're sending in blood or anything. It's like, hey, can I have that game? Sure, here we go. So in terms of the trust of the gaming community with each other, it's really something special that people aren't screwing with all your games, basically.
I've got, I would say my board game collection is probably just under 1,000, I think.
And you have compared to some of those people, you have a tiny collection.
I know.
You see people coming with a van full of board games. I'm like, good gosh.
They require a dolly to bring it in.
Well,
and not once, but twice or 3 times.
Well, one of the really popular Kickstarters, I can't remember what it's called now. I know because the guy at the Tuesday Night Board Game Meetup has it. They're these black bins, and they're specially made for your board games. And the idea is you can basically, the size of one board game, you can condense multiple board games into this one little black box now. And that's the whole idea, is because you had board games. Board games for the last I'd say about 5 years are really back in force again.
Yep.
And you see people collecting all these board games, and they take up a lot of space.
Yes, they do.
And so that's why this became a Kickstarter. Was this guy was smart? I was like, wait, people need a good, easy way to store all their board game stuff. So it's really, it's a really cool system because kind of customize it like a little cardboard thing for dice and cards, but you can really condense your board games. It's a pretty neat system.
Interesting.
But there's still something like having the original board game. With all the art and all that stuff is still.
Well, some people would say that if you take it out of the box and refuse to use the box, that you're not being true to the system or something. It's just it's like those individuals who take all the movies out of the boxes and put them in CD.
Jewel books.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you don't have the original art for the original.
No. See, that's how you do it correctly. Is you had to do the CD and you had to take out the artwork and put that behind the CD sleeve to do it correctly, sir.
Right. That ain't going.
See, but that's like reading a book. It's not really reading if it's not the paper, fool.
Yeah, no. That's why I have both the the hardback and the digital copy, so that people are like, bro, you're not reading the real book. But you're like, but I have it right there on my shelf.
But you didn't actually read it and make a crease in the spine of the book, so you didn't actually read the book. Fool.
No, I have not deprecated the value of the book.
No, you're giving it love, and you've let it nurture
I'm loving it by showing it off and then reading it so that I don't mess the pristineness of said book.
No, it needs to feel what's going on and feel, that crease, it's like a love mark.
Look, man, I reshuffle the books from time to time, so they get loved, they get touched, That sounded wrong. But anyways.
That's okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's this amazing thing called Patreon. Patreon, of course, is your time or your chance to help out and become a patron of Ultra Confusion. It is a monthly donation in which you donate money to Ultra Confusion to allow us to attend conventions.
Like MomoCon?
MomoCon, AndoCon.
Con Carolina?
Big Fandom Greenville.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Con Nuga. And other conventions. It also allows for us to keep our equipment upgraded. I had an individual who ended up teaming up with me in Paladins, asking why I was doing certain things with my computer and why I wasn't doing certain things with my computer. And I simply stated that my computer is getting a little bit old. I can't push as much as I would like. And they just stated, you should buy a new computer.
Is that your Alienware?
What?
Is that your Alienware that you're using as a stand?
Yep.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. So anyways,
We rest our case. We're using a wooden block that Charlie made on top of an Alienware to hold the webcam. Mm-hmm. Now, it works, but it'd be nice to have like a non-sketchy way.
Mm-hmm. I'll just have to build a better one out of wood.
Well, we could buy quality wood. Could buy some pine.
No, that is pine. That's just the cheap end pine. That's just the what do you call it? Mass produced. Don't care if it's true to the grade wood, because that one's actually got a little bit of a wave to it. But let's not get too. Dude, we digressed like right off the bat.
Yeah, this is like a digression cast.
Then again, we usually find a way to digress.
That's part of the charm.
I know. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if there's any way that you would like to help Ultra Confusion via either financially or in some other regards, please hit us up on Twitter.
At Ultra Confusio without the N, because
the N would break the internet, which I guess it's going to be broken anyway, so we might as well try to see and get the N on there.
Ooh, interesting.
You can go to our website.
www.ultraconfusion.com.
You, of course, can check out our Facebook page.
At Facebook Ultra Confusion LLC.
No, just Ultra Confusion.
Damn it.
YouTube is
Ultra Confusion LLC.
There it is.
Yes.
And then, of course, if you're watching this on Twitch, you've already found us. But if you've missed this or you want to watch us on Twitch either Thursday for the live show or during one of the streaming times, Tuesdays and Sundays, you can check our Twitch channel
at twitch.tv/ultraconfusion, or you could do the Zealeus way and just go to Google. Sorry.
Or you.
Whatever your ISP lets you. Go there and actually no, just use your Omnibar and just type in Ultra Confusion and see what happens. Yeah. You might get DuckDuckGo, you might get Bing, you might get Dogpile, who knows?
Lycos. What's some of the really old ones? Dogpile. Man, I love Dogpile.
You got the really big search engine. I can't remember what it's called over in China. Mm-hmm. And they can make like a huge investment, like in Xfinity, and they become the search provider of Xfinity.
Oh Lord, that would not surprise me at all. Unfortunately. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank everyone who tuned into this, either live or watching this via YouTube or whatever your viewing preference is, or you're listening to this via the podcast, which of course you can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. Just go to iTunes and check out the podcast section, type in Ultra Confusion, and ta-da! There we are. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank everyone who tuned in. For myself, Charlie and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you everything coming out of our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll hopefully be here next Thursday, unless, our ISP decides to, screw us up the kazoo.
You can no longer stream online data content unless you
of
buy
course
this extra package.
Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you hopefully next week.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world as long as you can with net neutrality now repealed.
There's no such thing as a free world. Amen to that, brother.